Okay, this is a demonstration of the car management blockchain project. So for this demonstration, we will show 4 users at once. So we have user 1, user 2, user 3, user 4, and they'll be associated with these accounts starting at OX5. Now they don't all start off with quite 100 Ether because I've done some tests, but I'll use big Ether numbers so that we can clearly see the changes. So we have OX5, OX2, OX3, and OX1. Those will be our users of the system. And each of these Chrome instances is associated with a separate user. So we say over here we have this is OX1. This one is associated with OX2 at 95 Ether. This one is OX3, 102 Ether, and this one is OX5. Okay, so first, when the user starts up, they select whichever role they fulfill. So first we have customer. Now customer has these view car and view meet public functions, which are available for anyone. Anyone can use these functions. You don't need any kind of permission. And all the person has to do is scan the RFID code in or enter in the values for it, and then they can view relative details about either the meat or the cow, which they're looking at. If I go back, next we have the supplier. So this deals with anyone who is a farmer or say a shop owner or a butcher, anyone who's part of the supply chain. So here we have supplier, we have our same usual view meat and view cow tabs, but we also have manage meat and manage cow. These are specific to supplier. So we'll say this person over here, OX1, will be farmer 1. We'll say this person over here, OX2, will be farmer number 2. We'll say this person, who is OX3, will be our veterinarian. Now, the idea behind the vets is they are like a third-party entity. They will have a website where they'll say, my address is OX3, so anyone knows when they see a vet inspection done by OX3, we know it was done by this vet himself because only he has access to that account. So our vet has our usual view cow and view meat, but they also have our this inspection tab unique to them. And last, we'll say this person's also a supplier, but we will have them be a shop owner. So they'll be dealing with more of the meat itself, whereas these two will be farmers dealing more with the cows. Okay, so if we begin over here, say a new cow is born. Every RFID code we're assuming has a unique string to it. So we'll say this, our first one will be, say, RFI1. So this code will be associated with our first cow, and we'll say that a new cow was born. It was tagged with RFI1, the little RFID tag, and it was born on, say, farm 1, plot 1. And we hit cow born and submit. And now the cow has been born. Now if I take that RFID code and go over into view cow, I can hit view location history, and we see on this date the cow was in this location and it is currently owned by OX1 if I view the ownership history. And it has no inspection or vet inspection history. So if I go back to manage cow, say I want to move it over to plot 2, I hit change that to plot 2 and I hit move cow. Only the owner of a cow can move a cow. And once this RFID has been used, a new cow cannot be born with the same RFID. The tags are assumed to be unique. Now if the transaction has been confirmed, I can go up to view cow and view its location history, and here we see on this current timestamp it was moved over from plot 1 to plot 2. Okay, so what else can an owner of a cow do? Well, the next thing they can do is they can, say, sell the cow to someone. So say they want to sell the cow to farmer 2. So farmer 2 over here, he has a address of his OX2. So if I jump over here just to copy that full address easily, this address belongs to OX2, and he currently has 95 Ether, and our owner of our car has 102 Ether. So I'm going to copy that address here, and we say these two farmers, they agree that they want to, this farmer over here, he wants to sell his Mr. Cow RFI1 over to farmer number 2. So this is an agreed upon exchange which they do, and this interaction requires that both Ether accounts agree to complete this. So we'll say he wanted to sell this cow for, say, 30 Ether. So and it's been sold to farmer number 2. I hit sell cow and submit. Wait for that to confirm, and if I jump over here, now being confirmed, I also have a buy cow tab thing that's popped up here, so I can hit buy, and if I of course accept this deal, it says buy RFI1. I submit and I pay the 30 ether over. And that notification over there is event driven, so even though I did change tabs, it appears regardless of which tab you're on without a reload. So that's now been completed, and we now see that Farmer 2 is much poorer, 65 ether, and this one has gone up by 30 ether to 132 ether. And if we go over to the view cow and I type RFI1 was our cow, and if I go, that was the location history, if I go to the ownership history, I can now see that now belongs to OX23. And if this farmer over here tries to move this cow now, which no longer belongs to him, we will get an error because it is no longer the owner. And this farmer now, of course, can move it. So say he wants to move RFI1 to farm 2 plot 1, which is his farm, so let's just move that cow over there. View cow been confirmed, and the location history, now it's on farm 2. Okay, so what else can a farmer do with their cow? Well, they can do farmer inspections themselves. These inspections done by the farmer, not by a third party. So say the food intake was 30 kilograms, or whatever, meal, medication given, no meds given. So these are 3 text values which can be filled out. Nothing. Nothing interesting. Okay. And we can now submit this inspection. Submitted. Wait for it to confirm. Go over to view cow. Okay, being confirmed. And now in the owner inspection history, I have an inspection given here. There's food intake that was given, the current owner of the cow, the date the inspection was performed, and I can just keep doing inspections and it'll just stack under here, one after the other, just like the locations did. Okay, so to continue with the demo, the next thing we're going to look at is the vet inspection tab. So say we have a cow, let's say this cow is RF2, it's currently at farm 2, I'm just going to hit cow born, submit that. Wait for the transaction to confirm. Confirm, and I can view the cow now is at farm 2, and it has no vet inspection history. So say we have a vet over here, and this vet is associated with the address OX3. He performs an this farmer 2 over here asks the vet to perform an inspection on this cow, so he scans in the RFID, RF2, it's average condition, say size 1,500 kilograms, general health, has a spot on its ear, and then the inspection price, this is the price which the vet can charge for the inspection, we will say that will be 0.5 ether, and I hit submit inspection, and submit. And now we can see over here, we have on the owner of the cow will get a message saying accept the inspection of cow of RF2 from the vet, and then it gives the vet's address, and for 0.5 ether. So if we just quickly take a look at their balances, this is our farmer 2. He will go, he has 65, so he goes to slightly less than 65.9, and our vet will gain another 0.5, so we'll end up on 103 after this is accepted. So we hit accept on this side and submit. Wait for the transaction to complete. Transaction confirmed, and now this balance has gone up, that one has gone down by that amount, and under the vet inspection history we now have this inspection. And the important part is that when anyone scans in this RFID, they can go and take a look at the vet who did this inspection, and we know that this inspection for sure came from this vet address. There was no way that that could have been faked, since it comes from the vet side. Okay, so the next thing which a supplier can do with a cow is they can take a cow and they can slaughter it and turn it into meat. So we hit, for the cow RF2, we hit slaughter cow and submit. Confirmed. Now the car has been sorted, we can go over to the meat section and say we want to take a piece of meat. Meat 2 is extracted from the car, RF2. Only the owner can perform this extraction, the current owner of the car. We can actually just jump over here, view car, and we can see RF2 is currently owned by OX2, even though it has already been slaughtered. We hit extract meat. Wait for that to confirm. Confirmed. Okay. If we take a look at the car for RF2, it was last situated on farm 2, and this is where we said it was born for RF2. This is different from our earlier car that we were looking at, which is RFI1. Okay, and it is of course at farm 2. Now the next thing we can do, we can actually look at this meat itself under the view meat section, and we say we want to. Now every meat will of course have an RFID associated with it. For this one it was MET2, works the same way as the car RFIDs, and we assume that each time a piece of meat is cut off and packaged, it gets a little RFID sticker with it. So we can take a look at the meat's location history. It will of course be in the last place where the farm was, but where the car was, but it can be moved around, which is farm 2. The ownership history, it's owned by the previous owner of the car. And if we hit meat's car RFID, it then jumps us back to RF2, where we can view all of the properties about the car as before, so like the vet inspection history or its location history or ownership history. So now, say if over here we have a shopkeeper and this is our farmer, and he now wants to sell this piece of meat which has been RFID'd to this shopkeeper. Now this shopkeeper has the address OX5, so I'm going to go over here and just get that full address OX5, copy and paste into the buyer address, and say I want to sell this piece of meat for 1 ether. I can hit sell meat, submit. Wait for that transaction to complete. And here we go. Buy the meat, MET2 for 1 ether. I can hit buy. As this shop owner, I have to pay the 1 ether over. And if we actually take a look over here, we'll see that this person has become 1 ether poorer, and our farmer there has become 1 ether richer from 65 to 66. And now if I take a look at the meat, I can take a look at its ownership history, and it now belongs to OX5. So what OX5 can do is say he probably wants to move this meat to his shop. So we enter in, scan in the meat RFID code, and the location will say it's at shop 1. Move meat. This can only be done, of course, by the owner of the meat. Wait for that to complete. Confirmed, and now I have the location history. It is at shop 1. Okay, so that is everything under vet covered, everything under supplier covered, all of this has been covered, and that's it. So now say if I was a customer, let me go back to the customer page, I scan in my piece of meat which I've bought, and it scans as a MET2 on RFID. I can take a look at the ownership history, who it belonged to when it was bought, the location history. I can hit meet cow's RFID, and this jumps me over with the cow's RFID and shows the location history and vet inspection history. And we didn't fill out any cow ownership inspection history for this cow, but we did fill out some for RFI1. You can take a look at its own inspection history. And that is it. That is the system.